Right, good morning all. I think we are just about still in the morning. Little bit lastminute.com, but I've chucked something together quickly for you, so you'll be hopefully appreciative of the fact there's no more slides from me today. What I have got for you is a couple of videos just to show you a development with regards to conventional order picking trucks, but also we've got our TSE 100 with us today, which is what we call one of our ergo movers. So it's more of a faster e-commerce sort of adaptable truck. We can do quick pick runs, high volume, change the cages, etc. So it gives a lot greater flexibility. We're not talking big, large bulk pallet orders, full roll cages. We're now talking the smaller, simpler goods. Toyota's obviously got a long-standing history with regards to MHE and products. As an organisation, Toyota, from the forklift side of things, actually makes up 40% of the business. And Toyota Industries Corporation actually consists of 17 different companies, of which 4 are market leaders in their respective fields. So we've had quite a lot of time and effort to think about the sort of material that we're bringing out to you. And we also put a lot of money into our R&D. And a lot of this is down to the feedback we get from the customers as well. Obviously, in developing businesses, we have our own ideas of how we want to change the trucks to best fit the situation as we see it, but there's no better way to actually get the feel of what customers need other than to actually go out and talk to customers themselves. So the first truck I'm going to quickly touch on today is what we call our remote order picker. So your conventional order picking, certainly from a bulk pallet situation, is a lot of on-off movement with the operators. They're always driving in between locations. This obviously greatly increases the risk of slips and trips, climbing on and off a truck all the time. But not only that, it affects the operator's fatigue. If he's doing a lot more walking around, climbing up and on products, it's obviously going to tire him out a lot quicker. So what we've come up with is the following solution. Obviously, we can all produce videos that shows one truck going faster than the other. Okay. There are some subtle differences with the product. You saw the way that it was operated via a wristband. Unfortunately, as times change, we need to obviously develop further as well. And some of the key things for operators working in order picking is obviously what they need to be able to do with their hands. So having a key fob type system they've got to press, or the fact that they've got to walk around with the wrist against their belt, is obviously a bit more of an inconvenience. So we've now developed a bit further into the solution, and we've actually got a button on the finger for moving the truck. So it's nice and simple. The operator can carry out his picking work and advance the truck, but still have his hands free to do his daily chores. I mentioned, it's the BT, move it over the next one. I mentioned putting it into perspective. The 2 time scales there, the manual pick, which was on the left-hand side, actually came out at 3 minutes 55, and the remote pick on the right-hand side was actually 3 minutes 11. So crunching some numbers, just on that single run of 24 picks in a conventional scenario, we actually improved efficiency by 16% from a time perspective. And bearing in mind that is one run taking 4 minutes for one picker. So if we multiply that by the number of picking operations we carry out on a daily basis, the number of operators we have in our fleets, the number of trucks, you don't need to be a mathematician to soon work out that that 16% increases vastly across the range of products. But in order picking terms, we're starting to see that disappear from the industry nowadays. E-commerce is certainly becoming a much larger part and parcel of day-to-day basis, and running around on a dirty big order picker with 2.3 metre forks and 2 pallets, it's a big old truck, but also all that takes a lot of time and effort when really you need to be speeding around, fulfilling those last-minute orders, making sure you hit your deadlines. And with that in mind, we've developed the TSE 100. I'm going to have a quick run around with the OSE, just to show you that actually, again, video's not CGI. The truck does actually follow my movements on request. And what I'm also going to do is I've spuriously dotted a few high-vis vests throughout the building, so I'm going to have a quick run around the walkway on the TSE and just simulate a little bit of picking for you as well. Okay, now as we mentioned, part and parcel of the video, Conventionally, we're going to drive to a location, we're going to have to keep climbing on and off the truck, moving it 2 or 3 yards at a time, walking around the product while we're picking boxes, loading up the pallets or roll cages and whatever we're doing. And as I mentioned, obviously one of the big issues here for operators is the fact that we've got this step that we keep having to climb over, we keep having to walk around the truck, etc. Yep. This solution with the finger button, I've actually set the scanner on the front of the truck, although we haven't got any racking, is going to simulate tracking this left-hand side of the aisle. So it's nice and easy. You actually just get off the truck. Once you've got to your start position, the truck automatically goes into its remote drive situation. We pick up the first load, lay it on the forks, and quite simply we then walk to the next location. And what you'll notice is I'm actually staying in the ideal position beside the truck for picking boxes and loading up the carriers. So we're no longer walking in front of the truck, we're no longer having to walk through the truck, step on and off. But if we do have to cross aisle, we can simply step across the truck. Nothing's going to reset. As soon as we press, we're off on the move again. Yeah. The scanner itself has also been set up for obstacle detection. So in that respect, it will deviate around objects, fallen boxes in aisle. But not only that, obviously one of the key things of a truck being driven around remotely is from a safety perspective. So with this in mind, as soon as anything gets within a metre of the truck, it's actually going to stop itself automatically. I got too close to the table there, I must admit, to show that effectively. But what we would normally do with this truck is leave it over to one side, and I can actually stand with my back to it. And you can see it's actually stopped itself before it's got too close. Yeah, we trust that. Okay, now that's just obviously a solution that's aimed at improving the conventional order picking situation that we deal with on a daily basis. But as we mentioned, with e-commerce and everything else that's developing within the business now, we look to something that's much more user-friendly and easier to operate and work with. Now, with this in mind, I have here today one of our BT Move It range of products, which is our little TSE 100. So this is, believe it or not, actually capable of shifting a ton. Hopefully we don't have operators that need to pick up a ton as part of their daily operations. God bless manual handling regulations. But from an operational perspective, you can start with the base truck. We can tailor the cages, the step carriers to whatever the needs are of your situation and business environment. And as you can see from how easily we got on and off there, they're relatively straightforward to work with. Now, the added benefit with the step carrier is the obvious fact that we have this delightful step unit, which means that we don't actually have to stay down at ground level. We can get up to pick up things that are a little bit further afield. So again, it's exploring that extra possibility with regards to storage. As I think we're all quite aware, storage is quite a critical factor in this day and age. Driving around, it's nice and simple, nice and user-friendly. We've got a lot of potential with the product. And again, just like the other order pickers, you've got the flexibility to hop off, pick up the goods wherever they may be found. But not only that, you've also got pretty good flexibility working in confined areas. It's a very compact unit to work with, which means that unlike some conventional trucks where you need all the added room in order to move around, to drive around, to operate, we can operate actually in a lot smaller areas, which again can potentially maximise your storage capabilities. Where's my last one? Somebody's moved it. So, nice and simply there, that's one completed trolley for the order. Obviously now from that perspective you may have a separate person who's finishing that, or you may be finishing the order for dispatch yourself. But if necessary, the next person can jump straight on, pick up another carrier, and they're straight off on the next run. Right, you'll be pleased to know that that's all from me. Obviously conscious of the fact that we are now getting towards dinner time. So all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for your time and attention, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy your lunch.